synthetic peptides, genetically engineered vaccines, anti-reotype vaccines, and basic principles of production. So it's basically...
Come a bit closer. Otherwise you're not coming.
Okay. I'm supposed to come closer.
You both stay together, I mean. Stay together.
Sachin, stop your nonsense.
It's not for me, I don't even get it.
Okay, it's new generation. Basically, it's all new generation vaccines. You have subunit vaccines, synthetic proteins, deletion, and recombinants. This is inactivated proteins, this is deleted live viruses. Recombinant live vaccines and DNA vaccines are the types. Now, synthetic peptides are basically, okay, see, every pathogen, you call it a virus or a bacteria, it's not completely pathogenic. It might be its surface, it might be its protein or something which attacks. Now, if scientists find out what it is, you can basically isolate that and study what the nucleic acids or whatever is there, and you can replicate it synthetically, like produce artificial which is less pathogenic to the humans. And then like hepatitis B virus antigen, hepatitis B is the antigen which causes hepatitis B, not the whole thing. Streptococcus pyogenes has the M protein which causes the pyogenes is basically like fever because it's pyro is like with heat. Diphtheria toxin is diphtheria, the whole virus, it produces an exotoxin which causes it. And influenza virus, everyone knows the common flu which I have right now. Okay, then genetically engineered vaccines is also influenza vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine, and smallpox vaccine. Now, as everyone knows, smallpox has been eradicated because of cheaper and more easily available. Then we have advantages of these vaccines. Then we have another separate category which is anti-idiotype vaccines basically it's against cancer. So now we know that chemotherapy, radiotherapy are still old. These are the new kind of vaccines which help battle cancer. Now it's safer, cheaper, and it's anti-contaminant. Like if you take, Stanley said, if you take it from another organism, it has a lot of other contamination with it, which might be rejected in your body. The antibodies you take, you might not, your body may recognize it as antigens, and so it will never work. You might die of snake bite. And it's high yielding, like it's cheap and it's cheaper, and it doesn't create reactivity. If it's a human thing, you won't be reacting to it. If it's an animal, you might react. That is what new generation vaccine is.
This is made from human?
Yeah, this is made from human, and then it's purified. Okay, then we have genetically engineered vaccines. Now, if you see, hepatitis B virus has DNA and RNA. Obviously, it's every genetically living thing has DNA or RNA. Now, you isolate the DNA. It is the it's the antigen producing gene which is removed. Then we have our favorite bacteria. They have two types of DNA as we all studied. One is the DNA present in the nucleoplasm, and the other thing is the plasmid DNA.
Extra chromosome.
Plasmid. Yes, everyone knows. We remove the plasmid DNA, cut it with restriction enzyme. Now you add to this, and after you introduce it into yeast cell, we don't take the same bacteria, we take yeast cell. And yeast cell has its own DNA. Now this recombinant DNA is put into fermentation tanks, and there are more yeasts produced. So after that, the antigen is produced separately in yeast. You isolate that antigen, which is not threatening as to the real one. You remove the one, and you take, what do? You do extraction, purification, and make it into a pure vaccine. This can be injected over a period of time, and finally you'll have immunity against hepatitis B. Now the antigen producing gene, as scientists have discovered, is the HBsAg gene, and bacteria can be also used, flu viruses, and it's better than whole vaccine viruses because you might end up contracting hepatitis B trying to combat it. In this way, you're safer, it's cheaper, and lots of people get immunity. Next is piggyback vaccine. It's one of my favorites because it's a funny name. Okay, now
I'll give you a piggyback ride.
Okay, herpes virus. As you all know, herpes is caused by human papillomavirus, and nowadays we have vaccines against it. Earlier there was no vaccine because right now we produce these piggyback vaccine. It's very easy to produce. So you take the DNA, and you see this is like the surface coat which is poisonous. In herpes virus, it's not the DNA or anything, it's the surface of the thing that's poisonous. You remove it, it's cleaved, like the part of that DNA is cleaved. Now you take that. Okay, you take a simple virus, that's a cowpox virus. This is where we guys don't die of cowpox. Even if we contract it, we have vaccines to combat it. So you take that, you take its DNA, cleave it, attach it to, you take herpes DNA, attach it to the cowpox DNA. Now you knew this is a mutant cowpox virus, which means it has properties of herpes virus. So you see the surface coat, it will have the surface of the thing. Then this is harmless virus. Your body is going to react to the surface, but it won't die of the virus. So you'll have immunity. So piggyback means you're using herpes, it's piggybacking on the cowpox virus, and you find yourself with immunity against herpes, human papilloma virus. So you want...
Human papilloma and herpes is same.
Yeah, no, herpes is caused by human papilloma virus. Herpes is the disease.
Symptom?
Okay, yeah.
It's sexually transmitted.
No, what's the symptom like? What we can see from the
He's
patient?
asking what's herpes.
Ah, okay. See, basically it's different. You have genital thing, you'll start bleeding from your genitals, you'll have itching, smelling, everything that's disgusting.
Like syphilis like this?
What?
Yeah, it's something
It's like
like
syphilis, but syphilis is different because syphilis has
You wanna
like
see-
patches.
It's the result of constant something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. This is
Yeah,
a new age vaccine that's anti-idiotype vaccine. It's not got to do with any bacteria or anything. Like our teacher explained last week, we have an antibody. This is a virus. This is a human antibody. Now the virus, or as I said, the specific part of virus that attaches itself to an antibody and reacts. Now the whole virus doesn't attach, it's a specific part. Now if you can recognize the part, this acts at the epitope. It attaches itself to the antibody. And then this antibody, you inject this antibody into another organism, like say horse, rabbit or anything. Now that antibody will be recognized as an antigen to that. And that organism will produce an antibody opposing this antibody. So this is the anti-idiotype antibody. The organism will produce anti-idiotype antibody combating this. Now you remove this anti-idiotype antibody, and then this will actually be combating the virus because it's the same structure. This and this will then be of the same structure to this. And after you add this to the person, it will destroy the virus. Now what is the difference is, this antibody in the human, if it's reacting, you might fall sick, but then, animal cruelty, you attack the animal with this, so it will produce antibodies for you instead of producing it us, and then you can use that to combat any virus, and then it, like the same thing, and neutralize it. Now what is this one?
Bonus.
Yeah,
Is that bonus or something else?
it's anti-idiotype means it's basically you're tricking the animal's immune system to think that our antibody is the virus and producing an antibody against it. Instead of doing it for us, we do it for the animal because of course it's cheaper and basically humans don't care. So, and then even if
Die every day.
yeah, and even so at the end of the day, this is basically for cancer.
You only eat chicken.
This is basically for cancer because cancer, of course, when we have cancer, you have a certain, the cells are different than normal cells. Even if it's an epithelial cell, it will have specific features which is completely different from normal epithelial cells. Now we inject that into the animal, it will produce a it will recognize that as an antigen, produce an antibody against it. And the same thing, if you inject that antibody into our systems, it will specifically target the cells which are cancerous. It won't attack the whole cell. Chemotherapy, radiotherapy will destroy normal cells. But these antibodies will destroy specific cells which have the cancer causing, or they'll be mutated. Basically, they're mutated forms of normal cells. That way you don't kill normal cells, that way you're safer. And like radiotherapy and chemotherapy has hair fall, you lose
So no hair fall in this.
There's no hair fall,
And
nothing.
this
It will only attack that
There's no
particular...
side effects.
There is no side effects.
and
That's
this
the best part.
immunity cannot be produced.
It's not
in-
immunity, it's against cancer.
Is it happening now?
It cannot
Yes.
produce antibody in the human
Has
body.
there ever been a case where they've actually...
Yeah, they start using it already.
They've actually cleared the cancer, like there's no cancer.
Yeah, if you're diagnosed with cancer, like first stage, it's very much
But if
curable.
it's late stage,
No.
it's no effect.
It
right?
can't be that
only
fast
for
because
early.
it's then the whole body.
Yeah.
If
Then
you,
it
if
means
it's the whole
cancer is
body is
forever.
cancerous, if you're killing every cell, it's like killing
What
yourself.
about mid stage? Is
Yeah.
that still possible?
You have to combine like chemo, a radio, even any cancerous therapy, you cannot use one thing. You have to use like a combination therapies, and even then, after 5 months, 6 months, you can get it again.
Yeah,
So it's because it's nobody knows the cause of cancer. You could have it genetically also. So if you have cancer genes like oncogenes, it produces anytime it can start a pop-up. So basically, but it's safer, cheaper, and
Successful.
successful. Thank you. These are new generation. That's all. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, who's gonna ask any questions?
The first one I asked.